You said, if I have no desire to start my own brokerage, is there any other reason I should get my broker's license at some point that seems like the next step in my real estate career, or is that a waste of time? So I encourage every real estate agent to get their broker's license. It's a good thing to have. It sets a different precedence when you're dealing with certain brokers or certain clients. And some people want to know that you have your broker's license. So I would say for sure you want to get it. Now, that's the beautiful thing about this model is you can set up expansion teams, you can set up an organization, and you can really run your brokerage on the EXP platform already by, attracting people. And then you just got to decide what you're passionate about. Is it leading people to grow a team to get to 100 million a year? Is it setting up expansion teams? Is it just, setting up almost like a coaching business within the EXP platform where you bring in a lot of new agents in different markets and you start leading your organization where you have weekly calls and weekly training and you have different modules yourself? So, Laura, I would just say focus on really what is the desire that brings joy to your heart. Because if not, the world will tell you, new agent, top producer, become a team leader, become a broker owner, and now you've made it. And I can't tell you how many broker owners that are not only broke, they're burnt out and depressed, but because the world told them that's what they needed to do.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, when I was going through my goals worksheet, I was like, should this be a goal of mine? So, yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, it can't hurt you at all to have your broker's license.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Some extra fees, some extra classes, but it's nothing that is, going to kill you. But mainly more than anything, Laura, is just really focus on, and that's what I'm going to show y'all in these 5 levels. So Rising Star, the fundamentals, obviously y'all already are in that one right now. As you can see, all the assets. So remember, y'all have 20 assets or 22 assets. There were 60 modules. Well, shit, look how many assets is on level 2. So I think right now we're at about 30 or 40 assets. And y'all may feel like, man, this is a lot. Yes, it is a lot to grow $1 billion real estate business. And I think the reason why I'm moving differently is because everybody wants to make it sound simple. It's not simple to grow $1 billion business. It's not. Because if so, everybody would be doing it. But tell me how many other agents or even brokers that y'all know that have brokered $1 billion. They're not, it's not many people walking around. Or just have set up a team that does 100 million a year. 100 million is a lot of production. 75 million is a lot of production. 50 million is a lot of production. And honestly, 25 million is a lot of production. So these are the different levels. So you can see top producer, and then I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to be the team leader and then how to lead an organization. So that's kind of how it's gonna go. And then obviously we're gonna do the $1 billion real estate investor, then $1 billion real estate entrepreneur. So, but y'all get to choose when you get to level 4 and 5, you get to choose on how you want to set your team up in your organization. But at that point, you need to be out of production and things need to be running without you. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the game changer. Think about it like this. So let's say right now y'all are selling, let's just say 25 million a year. And you're at 300K or so in gross commission. Shit, let's just go down to 10. You got 300K gross commission. And you look up and you can get a team to 25 or 30 million and still make the same amount of money without having to do all the work. So you get all that time back. Now you get time back for your family, hobbies, investing in yourself, traveling, starting other businesses to create more income streams, focusing on businesses that are you're more passionate about. Those are the reasons why we're going to be talking about $1 billion real estate agent, then $1 billion real estate investor, and then entrepreneur. So we're going to walk through it like that. Mm-hmm. All right, Laura, did that help you though?
Yeah, that's probably something that's going to be put in like my 3-year goal. Definitely not trying to do it like this year or even next year. But yeah, just something that I want to think about. So that way I'm setting myself up for success, really just getting started with my real estate career.
The beautiful thing you have, Laura, is you have someone who's tried it all, made the mistakes, got some wins, and now you have somebody that you can volley these ideas off of. The biggest thing real estate agents aren't considering is opportunity cost. To be able to just go into it blind, because I could have been like, yeah, go for it. Like, what if you didn't have us to talk to and you just be growing your business and then all of a sudden you decide, I'm going to go start a brokerage, and then you go out there and bump your head on that and waste all that time. Now you can actually talk through those options. And so it's opportunity cost is a big deal for us.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the like really beautiful thing with EXP is that, you know, like I was with you when you were when in Team 5 was the independent brokerage and you were responsible for all the agents and all the things. But then now being able to still basically be in the same position, but just be able to run your business the way you want to run it without having to be the responsible broker in all of it.
Yeah, it's the reason right now I'm talking to, you know, I try to keep my relationships really intimate and real and genuine. Y'all know I don't like doing anything that's fake and forced. But I'm talking to 5 brokers right now, and all of them have on average 50 agents, and they're all getting ready to come over and join the organization. So if they join, that's 250 agents that are going to join our organization. So it's 4 or 5 of them. But the point is, they're all dealing with the same pain points. It doesn't matter where you go. Some of them are franchise owners, Remax, some of them are Keller Williams, some of them are independents. They're all dealing with the same pain points. That's why I've really focused on this industry, and I've gotten it down to understanding it. It's just like sports. Like, there's only so many issues you can have on a football field. Like, and then once you understand the fundamentals on how the game moves, you can play at any level. It's the same with real estate. Once you understand the fundamentals on how things move, you can play this game at any level. It's just what level you decide. So that's good. All right. And then if you didn't get a chance to submit the Google form, everybody has access to that, right? Okay.
Yes.
And then if something comes up where you didn't and you spur a thought in here, then just put it in the chat. So my goal for this AMA is we're going to run this thing hard for 6 months, then we reevaluate. But my goal is to be accessible, to take what y'all are watching, because y'all hearing me talk enough through the modules. So I don't want to come in this room and be like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to train over today. We're going over this. No, man, I don't want you to tell me what we're going over. I want to be able to guide you, Terrence, and pull from your brain. So that's why we're doing the Ask Me Anything, because I want y'all to tell me where y'all want this to go versus me just coming in the room doing a blanket training. You said my current average GCI is 60,003. You mind if I read all that?
Yeah, fine. Go for it.
Is 60,391 for the year 2022. So you've already made right at 61,000 bucks in GCI. That's good. How do I calculate my success formula if I want to close a total of 120 GCI? So you have that module, right?
Yes.
So where are you getting hung up on that one where I'm breaking that down? Where are you getting hung up?
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to reverse engineer it, because what I did originally was just take my first 12 months and calculated that. So I did last year because I got my number. And then, so basically I knew how to calculate everything I have done up to that point, which was the same thing I did last year. But I guess in my mind, I haven't clicked on how do I determine using the next 2 quarters to say, what is my average sales price, and working down that list. So I guess it may be simple math, but my mind haven't clicked the register to say, okay, this is what you do for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So what you can do is pull some local data. So ask Viet, ask Teresa, ask Laura, and then maybe pull the average sales price of the market. The goal is to be higher, but let's just say if you hit the average sales price, let's say 255 or 275 or whatever. That answers your question on what is my average sales price? We'll just pull what the market is and plug that number in for now. And sometimes when we're starting new projections, we just want to get the basic information in. And then once you get the data from the next 12 months or 6 months, then you can go back and reevaluate. Yeah. So then if you understand that, like, okay, then as far as the average number of transactions, how do I figure that number out? Then just use the bot, 105X. Mm-hmm. If I'm trying to shoot for 1 pending a week, then that's my projection. You see what I'm saying? So how many weeks are left in the year? And then just do 1 pending a week. And then that's how you use that as your projection or your quarterly number or your weekly number or your monthly number. So then just start with that. Or here's the average sales price. Here's how many weeks are left. I want 1 pending a week. And then use that to back into it. Does that make sense to help you?
Yes, I'm just writing that down.
Okay. Are you sure you're good?
So you just basically said, so I'll take that formula of BOP 100. Well, first I find the market, look at the market, see what the average sales price is. And then from there, just simply calculate, all right, well, if this is your average sales price and you sold this average sales price and this is what you need to get to total. You just basically say, well, use the BOP 100, say I need one pending a week. What is that average sales price from those pendings that I will get? And if I do that to get to the last week of the year, and that's going to basically give me that number that I need to spit out.
Yeah. And then as far as you said, what's the difference between your buyers and seller percentage? Put your buyers at 80%, put your sellers at 20%. You're a brand new, you're a newer agent, new to a market. So your buyers are going to be higher. The goal is to get them to 50-50. That's an even business, 50-50. 50% buyers, 50% sellers, that's a very healthy business. If you're 80% buyers or 90% buyers and 10% listings, that's a very unhealthy business. But you got to start somewhere. And over time, you want to use that to leverage up. The goal is to get to 60-40, 60%, 60 to 70% listings, 30 to 40% buyers. But it's all about how we're going to set up y'all's teams and y'all's businesses. Everybody's going to be individually different. Cheryl, that's a good question. Tie that into what we're saying. How much time, T?
How much time would you say to go to the 60-40? Like how many years in the business?
That's a great question, actually. 36 months. I think by year 3 or 4, you should really be dialing down on creating your own business. And that's what I want to show you guys. I got a spreadsheet that's got 60 lead generation processes, but it's not just saying it like the level 1 quadrant. I'm literally giving you the process. So like right now, I'm drilling my team to keep adding more details so I can say, all right, here's 60 lead gen strategies. Here's the steps. Here's the processes. Here's the modules. Like here's everything. But the goal is to be able to generate your own business. Remember, because if you can generate your own business, you will eat in any market. It's the 20-80 rule or 80-20 rule. 20% of the people do 80% of the business. So we got to get you guys in that top 20%. If you're in the top 20% in your market, the market can turn. It can be good. It can be bad. It doesn't matter because I'm at the top of the food chain. So my ultimate goal is to get y'all to the top of the food chain. So no matter what market pivots, you will eat. And Jabari, you had also, if I had 2 listings that I represented both sides, would I calculate as 2 sides? Yes. So you want to calculate your sides. To me, sides and transactions are the same thing. Sides and transactions are the same thing. Now, when people get into units, like I know Keller Williams and some other brokerages are real big on units. I don't calculate units because if I sell a duplex, that's 2 units. You know, I don't really get into units. I get into sides and transactions. I want to track my sides and transactions. To me, units matter if you're a multifamily investor. You know, like how many units are you managing? How many units are under your asset? Why do I care about units if I'm selling them? So I don't keep up with units. I keep up with sides and transactions. And if I'm the listing agent on 4411 Hearst and I bring the buyer, that's 2 transactions. That's 2 sides. As long as I only count the side, though, is if I'm getting paid. If I reduce my commission to 3%, then I don't count the side. Because that means that part of me, Terrence Murphy, the buyer's agent, or Terrence Murphy, the listing agent, is working for free. So why would he get to count that side if he's not getting paid? So I only count the side if I'm getting paid.
Yeah. So basically, if I got paid 3% by representing both sides, it was just 1 transaction. But
yeah, because you got to give yourself, remember, you got to wear different hats in this business. That's another thing that we need to be talking about in the future is what does it mean to wear different hats? Because if you can really understand what it means to wear different hats in the same place, like I told you guys, like if I develop a lot, I'm the developer. Then if I build it, I'm the builder. Then my team sells it, so I'm the agent. Then my insurance company does the insurance, so I got the insurance, right? Mm-hmm. And then my plumbing company did the plumbing, so I'm the plumber. And if I have the title company, I'm getting a portion of the title fees. That's what I told you. There's 20 to 22 vendors, companies, or people making money off of your 1 transaction. And my ultimate goal, when we get to that last level of real estate entrepreneur, I'm going to show you guys how to make sure you're making money on that 1 transaction. So make sure you understand what does it mean to wear those different hats. Also, I'm wanting to understand my average GCI per closing.
I think that kind of answers a little bit what you just talked about. So I was calculating my number up to now, and I represented both sides, and I was trying to determine if I had 12 transactions, I think 14 transactions. And if I'm representing both sides and I got paid on both sides, then it'll be more 14 transactions than 12.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's the average commission rate in the United States is 2.75, give or take. 2.75 on average, because obviously discount agents and all the other stuff that goes along with that. But you always want to equate time towards your other person. Your other person is you, the buyer's agent, or your other person is you, the listing agent. If you have an intermediary, you should be getting paid on both sides. Okay. Those were the ones that I got submitted specifics before. We got time. We got a good amount of time to dive into any other open questions from modules that you watched this week, or issues that you have coming up, or like I said, this room is for us to be high level. Like, if not, we could be on Clubhouse doing basic stuff. Like, this is where we really dive deep. And the key is, like I said earlier, y'all have made the investment. You owe it to yourself to double down on this and really put this stuff into place. And that's why the AMA is just here to help you figure out how to keep moving forward. The whole purpose of this is momentum. We just got to keep the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, T. Murph, I got a question. This just popped up while you were talking, and I've talked to you about this before, but I feel like I'm at a point now that I want to build, a personal team, within our organization, just because I feel that right now I'm at a level of elevation, and these tedious tasks, I'm not having fun with that anymore. So, I definitely want you to dive into that a little bit about when this is the time to elevate and kind of delegate that to other people.
You hit it on the head. That's literally one of my modules that I have is elevate and delegate. And I have another word that goes with it. I can't think of it right now. But you got to elevate first in your mind, and then you start delegating and then start creating those systems. So it goes back to, what are you not enjoying? Where are you at on the wheel, Takara? Do you know?
Say that one more time.
You did the Manesh Boxy, right?
Yeah, I'm a high I and I'm IS. So high I love social networking and talking to people. So I'm a high I and a IS.
That makes sense. So let me ask you this: do you know on the wheel where you're at though? Like, do you have that? Do you have your personality profile?
I can grab it real quick.
Yeah, start working on pulling it. Start working on pulling it up.
Okay, let me find it real quick.
Yep.
And Jabari, mine is on page 40 of my assessment, the motivators wheel. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're gonna dive into these wheels real quick.
Okay, cool. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, if you got your personality profile, let's go through it real quick. This is gonna be big. All right. So it should, the visual might have changed a little bit, but this will give, this is just some basic stuff. It should be about 40 pages plus. If you didn't get 40 pages, you didn't get the whole report. So it should be 40 plus pages. So you got to make sure you got the whole report. If not, reach back out to Manesh. But I want y'all to know this is a game changer right here. So you want to understand this behavioral hierarchy, okay? So what this is a hierarchy graph that will display a ranking of 12 common encounter, ways that people move in the workplace. So it's 12 consistent things that come up in the workplace. So as y'all can see, on average, the red is the average person in the workplace. So on this one is 4.3. So what do y'all think my urgency is? Off the fucking charts. So that's why when y'all see me getting a little impatient, just know what you're dealing with. My urgency is 10. So when I'm ready to do something, I'm ready to do it. I'm not ready to talk about it. I don't want to sit around and shoot the bull about it. Like, hey, we doing this or not? So anytime y'all see me move like that, it's not to be disrespectful. That's just how I'm wired. And honestly, I used to think that it was not a negative thing, but at times my mom would be like, you need to just relax and be patient. Because she didn't know how to deal with me because my urgency was so high. The point is, I've learned that it's a positive. Now it's got to be, with anything, obviously it has to be bridled, but at the same time. So now look at my competition. I'm off the charts. So if I'm that urgent and I want to win, now y'all seeing how like sometimes I just literally peel out of Clubhouse because we're not moving fast enough. Like I got to get out of here. I'm going to run somebody over. So just understand these different things about yourself. And then when people say, well, how are you running 20 businesses? Because I can rapidly shift between tasks. And I'm pretty high on versatility. Now I'm low on some stuff, which y'all can see. I'll show you what I'm low at. Organized workplace, 2.8. That's not how I move. Okay. Customer oriented. I do not want to feel customer expectations. So if y'all have questions about the course, I am not the person to ask. You got Amber, you got Nova, you got Trish. We got all these beautiful ladies ready to serve you. It's just not me. And then consistency. I don't want to do repetitive tasks. I like to set them up and get out the way because I'm trying to keep it moving. So just understand that how you move. But let me go to the graph. So obviously on the D, I'm almost 100%. I'm very dominant. You put me in any environment. You can put me in the hood of East Texas. You can put me in the locker room in high school, locker room at A&M, locker room at NFL. I'm going to run to the front of the line. It's just me. So just know that that's how we, and this is good to notice about yourself. But this one is the one that's important. This is the one I want to focus on today. So everybody got your will pulled up?
Yep.
Okay, this is important. So hear me out on this. This is life-changing. This move, just understanding this chart. So Manesh, I paid him to train me for 2 years. For 2 years, we met every week. And he just pounded me on the head about reading charts, reading numbers, reading people. And I already had the Holy Spirit in me. I could read people, but he taught me how to read people in a different way. So that whole leading with questions and this whole conversion at 99% on listing appointments, it really helped me understand how to connect with people and read people. But the success wheel, insight wheel, I want you to look at number 1 by conductor. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Jabari, can you see it? Or are you paying attention? Because you're going to be the one asking me questions.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at it.
Number 1 on the wheel, conductor. And then number 18 and 5. There's a line that goes right through here. When y'all are looking at the wheel, it's almost to the side on the angle. You're going to cut this in half. You're going to cut this in a half, and it's going to be a pie. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
So that line right there, you're going to cut it on the pie. Okay? Everybody on the right side of this pie, relator, promoter, persuader, conductor, are great salespeople. They're naturally salespeople. Okay? Anybody on the left side are naturally people that do great work in ops, administrative. So your implementer, your analyzer, your coordinator, and your supporter, they need to be on the left side. So if y'all are looking at VAs, if y'all are looking at hiring your first listing coordinator, transaction coordinator, director of ops, whatever it is that's got repeatable tasks, they need to be on this side of the pie. If they're not, they will not be able to do repeatable tasks at all, because if they're over here like me, I don't want to do repeatable tasks. Now I'm a conductor. And so what you want to do is really understand, I'm not going to break them down right now. The implementer is pretty much what it is. They take stuff just like integrators on EOS. They figure it out. They take the ingredients, they make the recipe, they move forward. An analyzer is somebody who takes numbers, takes checklists, and they analyze it and they organize it. A coordinator is like someone who brings in the information and then they can really put it into place. They may not be able to implement, though. That's key. They have a hard time moving forward as an implementer because they're not up there on that D side. Remember, you got to also go back and look at the D, the C, the S, and the I on the outside of the wheel. So they're furthest away. The supporter and coordinator are the furthest away from the Ds. Okay, so just know that you may struggle with that. And then your supporter, receptionist, people that they're very customer oriented. They're just great at supporting people. They listen really well. Relators are just people who got to be around people. They just have to connect with people. They got to talk to people. They're all about relationships. and promoter, they got to be out not only talking to people, but they have to be out. They have to have a vision in front of them. Like if you give them a vision and send them to the streets, they're going to get it. And persuaders are really good salespeople. Like they're really good at pitches. A lot of persuaders are startup people. Like they pitch for a living. And then conductors are people who want to set stuff in place. They push people with vision. They push people with passion, and they're really high D. Get out of their way because they will run you over if you're slowing down their vision. So just understand that. And then the last thing I'll give you guys, as you're looking at your will, and then we can ask questions about it. Adaptive and natural. Let's look at that real quick. You have a star and a circle. Understand the difference. So your adaptive part of your personality, that just means that in an environment that you're not comfortable, you will be in an adaptive state. You will be in a state that's not really natural for you. And then your natural state is where you're gonna. So remember, every employee that you hire, every person that you hire for the first 90 to 120 days, they can maintain in an adaptive state. Just like when you're dating somebody, this first 4 to 6 months of the honeymoon stage, they're in an adaptive state. They're giving you their best version of themselves. But as soon as they get comfortable, busy, overwhelmed, or tired, they're going to do what?
Show you their true colors. Go to the natural state.
Yep. They're going to go to the natural state. So when you're looking at hiring somebody, you want to know where they're at in their natural state, because that's what they're going to end up being. So if you look up and you hire a transaction coordinator and they're a high I, promoter relator, and that first 90 days, you're like, man, they're killing it. They got all my paperwork perfect. They're killing it. And then you start throwing more deals at them. They get busy. And you're like, why are you struggling to get the transaction stuff done? You were killing it. Because they never should have been in that seat anyway.
Mm.
Okay. So make sure y'all understand that. That's very important. And I'm telling you, this chart never lies. Now, when you see somebody, this is also important to note, when you see somebody whose star and circle is in the same area, then you know they're very confident in any environment. They're going to be themselves no matter what. So
That's mine right now.
That's what I got too. I got the
Good.
same both.
Good. That means if I'm in my adaptive state and my natural state, hey, it is what it is. You're going to deal with a conductor. So, but I know we can move on. I just wanted to hit that little nugget for y'all real quick.
That's perfect. I'm a persuader, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. So you know where your best time needs to be spent is pitching.
Yes.
You need to be pitching the value proposition of your organization.
For a supporter, Terrence, how does that work for sales? You know, like we have to do all aspects. So how does that work for me?
As a supporter,
Yes.
what you want to do is get to a place where you really understand your strengths and weaknesses. So if you go on that chart, I'm sorry, y'all. You want to go to your motivator hierarchy.
Yes.
So have y'all had a chance? Y'all want me to hit that one real quick?
Come on with it. We're good.
Yeah, hit that.
I've read through it, but yeah.
So you need to understand what is your motivators, because no matter what, your motivators don't lie. Once again, this whatever it was, $150, $200, $300, this is a great investment that you made in yourself. So just keep reading it. Let's keep having this conversation, but understand these motivators. So your motivation to succeed in anything you do is determined by your underlying values. You will feel energized and successful at work when your job supports your personal values. They're listed below, highest to lowest. So utilitarian, economic, these are who value practical accomplishments, results, and rewards for their investments of time, resources, and energy. I got to know that I'm getting something done, right? And then theoretical, we value knowledge, and we just like studying stuff for knowledge's sake, continuing our education and intellectual growth. That's something that I just like doing. I like knowing that I'm getting better and learning. And then you just kind of go through. I don't want to spend time on much more, but y'all go through and just understand that. So take this, Cheryl, along with knowing you're a supporter. And what we need to understand is, what is your vision for your business? And is it a number? Is it an amount of families that I want to take care of every year? Is it an amount of net profit a year? Is it I want to get to where I'm working 4 days a week in my business? Once you understand what your vision is and your goals, then I can help you decide how to set up your team.
I was just gonna say for the adapted, I'm IS, but my natural is like pretty even on the DISC. So have you seen that before? It's like between 50 and 55 for 52 and 55 for all those.
So across the board?
Yeah, across the board for my natural style. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that means you're very versatile. Very versatile. That's a beautiful thing. You're not too up or down about anything. You're not crazy dominant like me, but you're also not going to get ran over either. And then the vice versa. If you take every one of those and understand that, it's like, okay, this is a good thing. So that means you're very versatile. You can be compliant, which is our C. You can be very steady, which is our S. You can interact with people, which is our I. And then, D, you're not going to just get ran over either. Because I know people that are like 10 on the D scale. They're not going to stand up for themselves. They're going to just let things happen, and then they're going to bottle it up. They're frustrated in the workplace. They don't know how to communicate, but you're pretty steady. So I've seen that once or twice before, but that's a beautiful thing though.
I was going to say, and part of my allergies, but I was going to say I'm all over the place, honestly. I don't know where I'm at. It looks like I'm predominantly a DSC, and my lowest is an I. And then on the chart, it says I'm a coordinating supporter, and then my adaptive is supporting coordinator.
Oh, that's good. I can read
Okay.
I can read you, Shelly Ann. So that's really good. So one of the things so if it flips like that, that's a good thing. That means you're very versatile. Remember, you're on this left side of that chart. So remember, you take that 1, that 18 and that 5 and slice this pie in half. So I know people like you, Shelly Ann, that run mega teams and they do no production. What they've done is they've doubled down on what they do well, which is coordinating stuff and creating a supportive role. So they're kind of like those team leaders that are rainmakers. They set up lead gen processes. They support their agents. They coach them. They mentor them. They love on them. They really make sure that they have what they need. And then they go out and produce for you. And then you have them come back to the camp. So you put hunters on your team and they go out and do listing appointments. They show buyers, but they come back to you. You charge them a 50-50 split or whatever you decide to charge is worth your time. And then you just support them and you coordinate and you rainmake on the team. I've seen coordinator supporters really set up really mega teams that way. Because where you don't really want to be around a lot of people. Like that's not really your move. That's why you're low I. You'd much rather be around the right people, a very selective group, and really focusing on the vision of how do we coordinate this, how do we support it, and how do we move it forward. And you give those instructions and those systems and that coaching to the right persuaders, promoters. So someone like Takara, you give her what she needs, you support her on the backside with the systems, the process, the coaching, the leads, the whatever, and she goes out and runs and does what she does. So you need to find people like her to put under your team, and y'all will be a killer match.
Thanks. That's so accurate.
That wasn't my allergy speaking.
Oh, I didn't even like real talk. I'm just reading the profiles. I'm not even thinking about y'all individually.
But
I'm just going off the personality profiles.
we already talked about that. But no, that's exactly where I am, and that's exactly who I am. And it's almost like scary just listening to it. But I'm just trying to see how do I mass produce this, because I'm real careful, like you said, about who I have around me and who I'm moving with. So I don't want to be around it. I'm an introvert by nature, but I'm extroverted when it comes to real estate. And it's almost like I'm a little bit confused. So I'm just trying to balance everything.
Here's the thing about that. If you give me your personality profile, I can tell you exactly who you are. That's what I'm telling you. now when I hire people, I go straight to this page. I don't even look at the other 46 pages. And I look at this page and then I can read up on them. And then I look at their motivators and I can literally call that person and coach them for 30 minutes. And I've never even met them. Now, obviously I know y'all, but that's where you feel like, damn, what is this brother's like been in Florida hanging out with me and I didn't know he was here because I have you. When you tell me where you're at on the wheel, I know exactly what you need. That's why Manesh taught me how to read all this stuff and how to set people in the right seats. Because I remember reading Energy Bus years ago, and I remember saying, okay, I get that concept of Energy Bus. It's just crazy that we read Energy Bus this week. I think God is doing something here. But Energy Bus doesn't give you the tools to move forward. Okay, I get that I need the right people on the bus and the people in the right seats, but how do I put them there? And that's when I found this whole process of trying to put people in the right seats. And you won't always get it right. But with this chart, you'll get there a lot faster. And like you said, you feel confused because you're in an adaptive state. You're having to adapt because that's a part of the game. Like I got to feed my family, so I got to get out here and hunt. But long term, it's not going to be sustainable. You won't be able to sustain being out hunting like that and being around a lot of people because there's too many people that are interacting with you. And that's why you may, at times, I'm just speaking and following the spirit, you may feel drained and you feel like you have nothing else left to give people at the end of the week. You just like, look, I need my space. I need my time. I can't give any more because you're in an adaptive role right now. And that's fine to get where you're trying to go, but we need to start pushing you towards that goal to put you in the right seat. Because then you'll wake up and instead of that, man, I got to go be around people at this networking event or go on a listing appointment, you're going to wake up and be like, I get to go to my office and just work on my systems, coach my agents, do this, and this. It's going to have it's going to breathe a different breath in your life.
Oh, so when I get to my adaptive and natural, it's basically both the same. What does it mean so my adaptive is 14 persuading motivator, and then natural is 30 persuade, motivator, flexible. I'm trying to figure out those numbers. What do they mean? Because yours is 1 minus 14. Just trying to understand that.
That's a Manesh question, bro.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. When you start getting into the numbers, that's going to take me 20 minutes to talk about.
Yeah. I already had to.
Yeah. I don't want to give you just a piece of the puzzle, but do it with Manesh and then you be able to explain it to us next time.
Okay.
Because then I'll know you received what he was telling you.
Mm-hmm.
But those numbers mean something, and there's a whole thought process around that I don't have the time I would have to pull out graphs and all kind of crazy shit.
I got you. I'll get with them. I already had.
Let's just talk about where you're at on the wheel for now, though. Where are you at?
So I am a persuading promoter on my adaptive, and then I'm also persuading promoter flexible in parentheses in my natural. So I'm right there on the promoter in that 14 and 13 box.
Yeah, so you're a sales agent. You need to be out talking to people. You need to be selling stuff, whether it's yachts, cars, real estate, insurance. You got to be out promoting and selling. You need to give up the transaction coordination stuff as soon as possible because it's not going to be good for you long term.
No, yeah. My C is in my natural state is a 2 and my natural is a 6. So it's super low.
Oh, yeah. Your compliance is terrible.
It really is. I can tell you that with a fact.
Well, at least you know these personality profiles are 99.9% right, bro. Like they don't really falter unless you didn't answer the questions right. But yeah, you need to give that up and leverage that time. Your TBS is best. Pitching, selling, going over value propositions. So if you know that, that's where you got to put yourself. I'm actually listening to a book right now. I just finished it this weekend. And I think I don't even know the name of it, but what he was talking about, and this leads into this conversation, he said, if you know that's where your time is best spent, now put TBS on it, then why are you still holding on or doing the other stuff? And that's where we got to be like, okay. And like he was saying, if you get to where if you're a salesperson and all you did is show up on a Zoom or show up at an appointment and pitch, then your time, if you only have 8 hours in a workday, look at how much of our time we're doing shit we shouldn't be doing. Paperwork, social media, listing. But if I just showed up and all I did, if I'm a persuaded promoter and just pitch, I'm either pitching EXP to join my organization, pitching buyers on why they should work with me, or pitching listing agents on why they should listings to why they should let me list. Imagine if you were just doing those 3 things 7 to 8 hours a day.
Wonderful day.
You would love it because you would be meeting people. You'd be happy, bouncing around like Jabari does, and you get to pitch and promote and just make those connections. And you love persuading people because when somebody says, you know what, Jabari, based on everything you said, I want to work with you, that brings so much natural energy into your spirit. Like you went on a listing appointment the other day, $750,000 listing or whatever it was, and you got them to convert.
Yeah.
That puts you on cloud 9.
Mm-hmm.
But now when it's time to go home and draw up the listing agreement and do the paperwork,
I want no parts of that.
then you got a droopy lip.
Oh man.
So we got to be understanding. See, these are the things that no broker, no trainer, no real estate coach is talking about. No one's talking about this stuff because they don't get it. They haven't done the hard work. See, right now what we're doing the hard work, which is why y'all are watching the modules. But now when we get in here on AMAs, this is heart work, like your heart. This is your spirit. We're working on that because if you really understand who you are and the way you're wired, then you don't have to try to be a chameleon. Mm-hmm. Just be you. And man, just literally lean into that. And if you look up, bro, you just look at your schedule and all you see is appointment after appointment, either listers, buyers, or somebody who wants to join my organization. Man, you're going to be like cheesing. And once you convert, you can step back and say, okay, I got a team that's coming over in Arkansas. There's 5 agents. And you hand it off to a coordinator, a supporter, or analyzer, and implementer, and they run with it. Man, you living your best life. So anybody got any other questions about your personality profile? I know we're getting down on time, so I want to move to anybody else since we're on this subject, or if y'all have any other open questions.
I just wrote one, Terrence. I was just curious, as a relating supporter, I'm a little confused about if I'm a single agent, where do I shine versus on a team as a relating supporter?
So you're saying where do you shine if you're a single agent versus being on a team?
Yeah, like if I'm not really a salesperson, which I've always known that. I don't consider myself a salesy person, but obviously we're in real estate, so that's sales. So how can I guess, shift to, or I guess I'm confused as to, it's easy to give someone transaction coordinator kind of stuff if you're a salesperson, but then who handles, if I'm a relating supporter, who handles the sales aspect? Because I feel like that's a part of my job. I can't really do that part of it. I mean, does that make sense? I don't know if I'm awesome.
Yeah, well, you got to remember you're a relator though. So you still want to connect with people.
Right.
You still want to be around people. Like you're still in the I quadrant. So you're in the I and the S, which means you can still be a strong sales agent. The thing you got to decide, your big thing as a salesperson is how you get business. That's the question.
Oh, which is, that worm. I remember your quadrant, which is, okay, yeah.
Go back and really study that chart because for you, cold leads is probably not going to be your thing.
No.
Exactly. See, I'm just reading it off the charts. I don't even specifically thinking you, but it's probably not going to be your thing because you want to build relationships. You want to relate. So you would be the type of person that would set your business up to get a lot of warm referrals.
Okay.
And so doubling down on that doesn't mean you need to be out of the industry as an agent. And because see, when you have warm referrals that are coming in, you're not selling them on anything. You're supporting them and relating to them.
Oh, that's so true. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See the difference where I pivoted right there with your mindset?
Right.
If someone comes in, so let's say Carrie or Kristen called you and said, hey, I got a guy that went to A&M with us. And you're like, oh, yeah, I went to A&M. You remember Terrence? Yeah, I remember T, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's moving to your area. Would you pay him a referral fee or would you be willing to work with him? See, you jump all over that kind of business because you want to relate and you want to support.
Okay, so that means I need to spend a lot of my efforts in that department versus the Red X cold call and all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Now you're moving to the mindset. Now you're getting it. Get in that space, put your time there. Really go back and watch that module. I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, where I'm talking about the 4-quadrant agent, really understanding, okay, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. How do I just double down on my driver and do that and bring that business in, and then set up a system where I'm just working warm referrals. I'm not working any cold referrals. And that's the move that you need.
Okay. And do you refer, I guess it doesn't matter if you get that business, but you're not marketing yourself in that department.
Yeah, you'll get some sign calls and you'll get stuff like that. But see, it's not just that. Last thing I'll say here, you getting on Red X and pulling a 979 number and calling it and getting Terrence on the phone versus you sitting at your office or at your house and your phone ringing and a 979 Terrence is calling you. Do you see the difference between the two connections?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not, everything doesn't have to be a warm referral. It just needs to attract. You need to attract. So just write the word attraction. So you need to attract referrals. You need to attract sign call. You don't mind talking to Terrence on the phone as a 979 number that you don't know, but he's calling you for information. You're not calling him.
Got it.
That's the pivot.
Big difference.
When you really double down on that, you'll 10x your business.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.